All right, we're all good now.
Thank you. All right, everybody. My name is Sarah Goldrup. I am the Deputy Clerk for Grey County. Thank you for joining me today for this meeting of the Grey County Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting. Before we get into the true business of today's agenda, we do have two new members on the committee. Welcome, Pamela and Jacob. Thank you so much for joining us. And in recognition of some new faces around the table, both from the City of Owen Sound and within our membership, we have on the agenda today to begin with some quick introductions. So I might just go down the order that I have here on my screen. Pam Coulter, could I ask you to start and just give a hello to the group really quickly?
Sure. Good afternoon. I'm Pam Coulter. I'm the Director of Community Services for the City of Owen Sound. We're really pleased that the county's allowed us to join and be part of the county's Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee. I've worked with the city's committee since we've had a committee in the early 2000s. So really looking forward to bringing our projects forward through this committee and to the input that and the advice and recommendations that you'll offer. So.
Thank you. We're very excited to have you here with us. Next on my list, I have Councillor Matrosovs.
Hi there. My name is Councillor Andrea Matrosovs. I've been appointed by Grey County to sit on this committee, and I am the Mayor of the town of Blue Mountains.
Thank you, Andrea. Next on my list, I have Andrew Edgecombe. Andrew.
Hello.
Good morning.
My name's
afternoon.
Good afternoon, meant to say. My name's Andrew from Hanover.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Andrew. Andrew is one of our members here on the committee. Next up, I have Brooke.
My name is Brooke Silby. I am in Varney, and I am one of the members on the committee.
Thank you, Brooke. Next up, I have Carly Craig.
Good afternoon. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm Carly Craig. I am the clerk for the Township of Georgian Bluffs and very happy to participate in this committee.
Welcome, Carly. Next, I have Catherine Schultz.
Muted. I don't know what's happening with my computer. Anyway, good afternoon. I'm Catherine Schultz. I, as of today, was the former chair of the committee and also a member of this committee. And I'm in the town of the Blue Mountains, and I work for Beaver Valley Outreach as their HR manager and office manager.
Thank you, Catherine. Next up on my list, I have Jacob Morris Wheeler.
I'm Jacob. I live in Owen Sound. Previously, I sat on the Owen Sound Advisory Committee. Currently, career-wise, I work as a residential support worker for community living in Owen Sound. So accessibility is very important, part of the community and my job.
Thank you, Jacob. We're very excited to have you here with us. Next, I have Jamie Eckenswiller. Jamie might just not be available at the moment, but he is the clerk for West Grey. Next up on my list, I have Jennifer Patton.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Patton. I'm the Health and Safety and HR Advisor for the town of the Blue Mountains, and I'm excited that we're on this committee for another year. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And then Kathy Nuno.
Hi, I'm Kathy Nuno. I'm the Accessibility Lead at Grey County,
And if you have any questions or thoughts or anything, please reach out to me and I will do the best I can to help you out.
Thank you, Kathy. And Cody Hewlett.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cody Hewlett. I am a staff support with West Gray, and my role is Corporate and Community Initiatives Officer. So recreation, economic development, and all the fun stuff in the middle.
Thank you for joining us, Cody. Melissa Hilgendorf.
Hi, everyone. I'm the HR manager for the town of Hanover.
Thank you for joining us, Melissa. And then last but certainly not least, another one of our new members, Pamela Matheson.
Hi there. I'm really pleased to be on this committee. I have a background in healthcare for over 35 years, and now I'm semi-retired, and really looking forward to participating in this.
Thank you so much for joining us, Pamela. All right, so I believe that is our introductions for today. Moving right along, I am just going to lead us through the election of the chair and the vice chair for the year 2024, and then hand the business off to our newly elected chair. Before I begin, I would really like to express a big thanks to Catherine Schultz, who has done such a wonderful job chairing the committee previously. And with that, I would accept any nominations if a member of the committee would like to nominate a member to chair for 2024. Do I have any nominations for chair? I believe Catherine would be so kind to stand again for chair if someone would kindly nominate her.
I'll nominate her. I'm Brooke.
Brooke, perfect.
Yeah, I'll nominate Catherine.
Excellent. Do we have any other, do I have a seconder for that motion? Any
Yes.
hands raised? Andrew, Brooke and Andrew, that's perfect. Catherine, do you accept the nomination?
I would be honored. And you know what? Thank you to my fellow members on the committee. I really appreciate, you know, you nominating me to serve another year on the committee. And I know we'll all work well together in establishing what we set out to with this committee. Thank you. Yes, I will accept, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other nominations for chair for this year? Seeing none, can I get a motion to close nominations, please? Councillor Mattress. Thank you. And Catherine, you stand acclaimed as chair for the year 2024. Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you,
then
Sarah.
really quickly, we'll run through vice chair. So do I have any nominations for vice chair? I believe Councillor Mattressov had kindly stood for vice chair last year. Are there any nominations for vice chair this year?
I would like to nominate Andrea again, if she would be willing to continue on as vice chair.
Perfect. Councillor Mattressov, would you be willing to accept that nomination?
Thank you. I would be happy to, but I am also very open to leave this role out to the rest of the members if there's somebody that would like to try it. It has not been taxing at all, I'll say that. The chair has always been there, so there hasn't been a need to step in. So it is a good opportunity for anybody on the committee who wants to get a little bit more experience and a little bit more involvement. So I will stand if there's nobody else, but I would gladly withdraw if there is somebody else interested.
Understood. Would there be any other interest among the members? Kathy?
I just wanted to throw out there, because there's a lot of people in the room, but not everybody in the room is a voting member. So this role is available for the voting members.
Thank you. Among our voting members, would anyone else be interested in the role of vice chair? Seeing none, and with the understanding that Councillor Mattressov would kindly accept the nomination, can I get a seconder for that, please?
I'll second it. It's Brooke.
Brooke, perfect. Thank you so much. And Councillor Matrosovs has confirmed. Could I get a motion to close the nominations, please? Pamela, perfect. Thank you so much. And with that, Councillor Matrosovs, you are acclaimed as Vice Chair for the committee again for 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
With that, Chair Schultz, I should say, my apologies. If you are all set, I will hand the rest of the agenda off to you, but I am available to read off any recommendations on the agenda today.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so does anyone have any declarations of interest? Any other members? No? Okay. And the next item on the agenda is delegations.
For you, Madam Chair, we don't have any delegations on the agenda for today.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. And items then for direction or discussion from this committee. The first item on the agenda, 6.A, is the Municipality of West Grey, and it's the splash pad. And Cody will let you, I'll hand it over to you for discussion.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Schultz. Fairly straightforward report in front of the committee today. We are just seeking review and comment from the committee on the installation of a splash pad slash spray pad to be installed in the geographic town of Durham. The current site that council recently identified would be just behind our Durham Town Hall police and fire stations. The installation of this splash pad would create a campus model, as we already have a existing playground structure there, as well as our wading pool. There would be the installation of the splash and spray pad, as well as a timber frame picnic shelter. Both of the items being built would be slab on grade, so they'd be fairly accessible naturally, but just looking for review and comment from the committee. Just to review the attachments, attachment 1 is a rough concept design of the splash pad, in which it is of oval shape and all of the features are set in a circular orientation. The splash pad would be activated by a tactical timer switch, similar to that you would see at a crosswalk, and it is just the center blue post. If you're looking at the image, it's to the bottom left-hand corner of the exterior walkway. The second attachment is our tentative site plan. So working left to right, you would have the existing playground area adjacent to the Saugeen River, with the installation of the pavilion in the middle, and then the splash and spray pad to the far right of this screen there. And not included in the site plan, further past the splash pad would be our wading pool that we have existing on the site. And the third attachment is just an example image of what the picnic shelter would look like. It should be noted for the committee that this is not an actual picture of the pavilion that would be being built. This is just an example image, and the pavilion being built would be a timber frame structure. Other than that, open to comments and questions from the committee. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Cody?
I have a question. I know you just talked about the splash, but maybe you're talking about the pavilion too, but is it because some pavilions have a step to get into? So in my experience anyway, but should it be, is there any plans at all to have a ramp or something?
There would be a pathway leading directly to the pavilion, so there would be no step.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Andrew?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Does anyone else have any questions for Cody?
I have a question about turning on the splash pad for somebody who might be visually impaired or blind. Is there any way to make it easier to find that spot where you have to push? Just in case there's somebody that might want to.
The button that would be installed would be similar to the crosswalk buttons that you would see. So it would have an auditory beep or sound when it is hit. But I'd be open to comment from the committee of how to make that even more accessible.
Is there a way to make some sort of like textured something textured so that we can kind of look for with our, whether it be our feet if we're working with the dog, or with our canes if we're looking, so you know how they have like the texture at curbs and stuff? Would it be possible to use something similar kind of around where that post is going to be that you need to go to? So then it gives a spot to turn it for.
I think we would be able to do that. Through you, Madam Chair, I think that is something that we'd be able to include in the project.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Brooke?
Yep. It's just somewhere that I'm sure my niece and nephew would love to go. So I would love to be able to turn it on for them if they need help.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's great. And Pam, you had a question.
Yeah, thanks so much. And it's my first meeting, so please tell me if I'm out of line here. This is a really great project, and the splash pad in Owen Sound is certainly a facility that's really well used. So I would just offer to you, as you're planning this, to make sure that and I know you've mentioned that there's a hard surface to the pavilion, so there's probably other hard surfaces that aren't shown, but just making sure that you've got connectivity that is at grade in between those spaces. And then I just wonder, and maybe the drawing's not to scale, but I just wonder the area between the splash pad and the Saugeen River. I know there's times of year it can be really flowing and other times of year where you have less volume, but I just wonder about keeping children safe in that space, if there's any plan to delineate or have at least even a low barrier along that space. But I would congratulate you on this project.
Through you, Madam Chair, thank you for your comments, Pam. The not included in the report, and I was remiss in mentioning, the splash pad area will be fenced, as well as there is quite thick brush between the play areas and the river.
That's great. Thanks, Pam. Does anyone else have any questions for Cody? No?
Through you, Madam Chair, I do believe Kathy's hand is raised.
Oh, sorry, Kathy. I missed you there. Oh.
Shoot, I was muted. Thank you, Chair Schultz. And I just want to say thank you, Pam, because yes, it's a group that encourages interactive conversation and thoughts from all. So thanks very much. That was really good input.
Okay, and Sarah.
Through you, Madam Chair, shall I read the recommendation? So the recommendation attached to this item is that in consideration of the staff report, West Grey Splash Pad, the Grey County Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee receives this report for review and comment. Could I have a mover from the voting members, please?
Yes.
Andrew, thank you. And a seconder?
I can do it. It's Brooke.
Brooke. Thank you. I apologize, Madam Chair. I've stepped into the calling, but if you would like to call for the vote whenever you're ready.
Sure. I'll call for a vote on the motion. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Brooke, okay. And Pamela, okay, great. And Jacob? Jacob?
Sorry, I just stepped out of the room.
I wondered about that. Are you in? You didn't hear the motion then?
No, I was in the washroom.
Okay, Sarah, would you mind
Yep.
repeating it? Thank you.
That in consideration of the staff report, West Gray Splash Pad, the Gray County Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee receives the report for review and comment. And if you're in support of the motion, you can just say yay.
Yay.
Perfect. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you.
That motion would be carried, Madam Chair.
Yes. Okay, the next item on the agenda is 6.B. This is Grey County Grey Roots Museum and Archives Accessibility Plan Evaluation. And this is being presented by Jill Patterson. And I'll hand it over to you, Jill.
And on behalf of Jill, this is Kathy Nuno. Thank you, Chair Schultz. Jill is unwell today, but she sent me a note that she's asked me to read on her behalf. Good afternoon, Grey County Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee members. Though I regret not being able to be there today, I'm pleased to report that our accessibility plan, a requirement for the Provincial Community Museum Operating Grant, received a perfect score of 10 out of 10 during evaluation. While this indicates progress, the real evaluation of the site will come when we invite the committee members to conduct an accessibility audit of Grey Roots Museum and Archives and Morriston Heritage Village. I propose scheduling this for spring 2025, coinciding with the completion of new permanent exhibits in the Grey County Gallery and favorable weather for outdoor tours. I can work with county staff to make arrangements for the audit. Many thanks for your guidance and input during the planning process. Now it's our turn to implement the plan. Best regards, Jill Patterson, Manager, Grey Roots Museum and Archives.
Thank you, Kathy. That is amazing. 10 out of 10. That's wonderful. Sarah, is there a recommendation then?
Through you, Madam Chair. The recommendation for this item would be that the correspondence from the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport regarding the Grey Roots Museum and Archives Accessibility Plan evaluation be received for information.
And can I have someone move the motion? Pamela? Okay, and a seconder? Andrea? All in favor?
Yay.
Yes.
Through you, Madam Chair, that appears to be carried.
Thank you. Okay, and the next item is correspondence. 7A, the correspondence, Accessible Playgrounds Ontario. Website now live. I don't know what that means there.
Through you, Madam Chair, Councillor Matrosov appears to have her hand raised.
Oh, sorry, Andrea.
Thank you. Through you, the chair. This was quite exciting. I really enjoyed having a look at the interactive map that's available, as well as it being listed. You can either do searches of a town by name, or you can actually go to the map and start looking around too. So it's a very exciting tool. But I noticed the big void of Grey County. So it is being populated, I guess, just volunteer population. I guess this is grandparents and parents and organizations are putting in the details. I'd like to know what we can do. So my question would be through the chair to Kathy, if she can update us on what we can do to support sharing the information using this very accessible website.
Kathy?
Okay, thank you, Chair Schultz, and through you. Yes, I think that's was the main reason why we included it as correspondence on this agenda, because we do have the representation of most of the lower tier municipalities. So I'm hopeful that that information will get shared, and that information and that the details will get populated by maybe even the same local staff that is looking after the Grey County Municipal Spaces map update. So that would be pretty cool.
That's great. Thank you, Kathy. All right. And do we need a motion, Sarah?
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, that the correspondence from Accessible Playgrounds Ontario regarding their new website be received for information.
Okay, can I have a mover on the motion, please?
I can do it. It's Brooke.
Thanks, Brooke. And a seconder, please. Pamela? Great, thank you. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Motion's carried. The next item on the agenda is under correspondence again is Georgian Bluffs Community Improvement Plan Focus Group.
Through you, Madam Chair, I believe that this was a piece of correspondence that had come through to county staff that we just wanted to make sure we were sharing with the committee for their information. If there were any questions with respect to this item, I would endeavor to find a response and share it back to the committee. But otherwise, there is a motion that the correspondence from Georgian Bluffs regarding a community improvement plan focus group be received for information.
Okay. Can I have a mover for the motion? Anyone?
Sorry, Chair. Did anyone participate in this from this committee in the virtual meeting on Tuesday, February 6th?
Did everyone hear the question? Did anyone attend the virtual meeting? I did not. Kathy? No.
Okay, I was just wondering if there was any feedback from it.
Yeah,
So.
no, good question. Yeah. Anyone else attend?
Through you, Madam Chair.
Carly?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you, yes, although this virtual meeting has passed, I believe our planning department is still happy to receive any feedback related to our community improvement plan. And I would encourage anybody from the committee to reach out to our planning department as they would be certainly happy to hear from anybody.
Thanks, Carly. That's great. Okay. Sarah?
Through you, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
If I could bother you to call for a mover and seconder
Yes.
for this item to be received for information.
Okay. A mover, please.
I can do it. It's Brooke.
Okay, and a seconder?
Yes.
Thank you, Andrew and Brooke. Okay, all in favor? Okay,
Yes.
carried. Okay, the next item is Andrew Edgecombe, Accessible Transportation in Grey County. I'll hand it over to you, Andrew.
Sure. Yeah. I have a concern about transportation. First off, as you know, Slogging Mobility, which is for those who are new, is the main wheelchair company. I call it that way. They do rides up until 6 o'clock. And then they don't do Sundays. But they only do evenings as far as Friday and Saturday nights. So, but so with them, we put it out this way, is they don't do with them that is, and they don't do Sundays, and my concern about the Sundays especially is when there's no transportation at all, people don't have, because a person in a wheelchair is really stuck because they can't get to a place of worship or see their friends on Sunday, for example, or if they have to, or whatever it might be. And I think that we need transportation on Sundays, and the evenings are like like cabs are great in their own way, but I think if somebody in a wheelchair can't always get into a cab would be my concern unless they can transfer. And I'm not sure how good the cab companies would be about letting a transfer happen. Uh, so 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 wheelchair somebody in a wheelchair has ends up having to stay home from their place of worship and stuff like that on Sundays and eat those evenings that there isn't a ride. And my thing, and I really think that I wish there was a way to do a survey of what the people's needs are for rides, for one thing. And I wish that and another part of transportation is there's sometimes not very many events in Hanover because we don't have sights and sounds for those who familiar with sights and sounds or some of the other things. Yet there is sometimes quite a few events or whatever having home and sound. And my question is, why isn't there some sort of company that could bus people up to let's say Owen Sound or Port Elgin, for example. I use that as an example so that people can get to go to events because right now that's a barrier is transportation for myself and my other friends who have disabilities. Because Soggy Mobility, they could take you, but if they had to wait around, they charge you after the first hour to be there, to charge you just to sit there.
Pamela, did you have a question to ask Andrew?
Yeah, it's sort of a comment, and I don't know whether or not this would be done at this committee because I'm new, but would it be beneficial to have Soggy Mobility come and make a presentation to this committee and outline exactly what they do supply and outline our concerns? Like Andrew has definitely pointed out quite a few. I do know that they are getting 2 new vehicles, so maybe that might help. I also know that they've had challenges getting drivers. So, you know, post-COVID's hit everybody. But I think that Grey and Bruce counties have to have some sort of a plan for transportation for everybody, accessible and not accessible. Because Andrew, I think in Hanover, there's only one cab company, isn't there?
There's 2 cab companies. The problem is the DC cab for one of them. I'm gonna name them off. It's the only way I can think of it to do it. DC cab only runs till 6. Last I asked, as far as evenings goes, and because I go to Rotary Club some Tuesday nights, and Tuesday nights, but that's not after 6. So there's another cab company that doesn't do after 6, but there is another one called Hanover Shuttle, which does run after 6. Some of the vehicles are I will say that might just better than nothing, but still some of the vehicles are sound like they're gonna fall apart. But gets me from point A to point B. But anyhow, so there's 3 cab companies that do run, but only one of them does evenings.
Yeah, so the point being that we're very limited in transportation, period. So I'm wondering as well if this committee, I don't know if this is part of the scope, but wouldn't it be beneficial if what we maybe ask for any anything like Pumpkin Fest or any festivals that are being run in any of the communities, that there should be some sort of plan put forward for accessibility. Let's get people from Hanover to Mount Forest or Mount whatever, because Andrew made a good point. You got
Because
to
the
plan
Mount
ahead.
Forest Fireworks Festival, I would be going in a moment's notice if it wasn't for the transportation. For me, that's me as a person. And because that's what's keeping people disability out of the events, I think, it is the lack of transportation to these events. Even if they had a bus load, could do it as a one load that goes from let's say 10 o'clock until 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, for example, as a return. And that'd be that. And
Okay. Kathy, did you have something to add there?
Yeah, we had let Stephanie Stewart know, she's the community transportation manager here at Grey County, that this meeting was on the agenda today. And although she wasn't able to attend today, this meeting is recorded. So I'm going to have reach out to her to talk about this and see if she has any further thoughts. I know that quite a lot of work has gone into trying to keep communities connected through the GTR, the Grey Transit Route. And there are challenges at every turn, pun intended, I guess, because there's so much geography and so much time and so little resources. But there's some good ideas here about doing a survey and good ideas for finding funding for transit for special events. So I will reach out to Stephanie and see if she has any further thoughts on that. And I guess report back at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. And Brooke, did you have a question?
I just had a quick comment.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was Andrew or Pam who suggested having transit come and like kind of talk to the committee and also kind of and listen to our concerns and stuff like that. That is when I was part of the Guelph accessibility committee, we actually had transit come. We only really met like probably about 4 times a year. So we had transit actually come 4 times like all to each meeting, whether it be just for like quick 10 minutes or whatever, just to give an update on what's going on. Are they getting new vehicles? What are they doing? And I think it made people feel a lot better that they knew that transit was listening, or at least they appeared to be listening anyway. So I don't know if it's possible to do something like that, to have an ongoing where maybe we meet a little bit more often than Guelph did. So maybe only like maybe every other meeting or something.
Okay, good thought, Brooke. Does anyone else have any questions for Andrew? Andrea.
Thank you. Through you, the chair. I just wanted to thank the author, thank Andrew for submitting the letter to drawing the attention to the concept of the special events, because that's something at the Grey County Council when we have to make our hard decisions about what we do about the overall system and what the budget will allow. We've never had the discussion about what should we do for certain community events in order to be able to make it as accessible to as many people as possible. So I thank you for raising that, and I like the idea of interacting with the communication with transportation coming here and chatting. So thank you.
Thanks, Andrea. My sentiments as well. I'm wondering if we possibly, as a committee, go, with Kathy, communicating with Stephanie. That would be our first step, and getting that information back from Stephanie first. And then as a committee, we could probably, have a bit more discussion around pursuing, having somebody come to the meeting, whether it's on a regular basis or just every other meeting, as Brooke had indicated. And Andrew, I want to thank you as well for the letter. A lot of effort went into that, and a lot of, your passion went into that letter as well. And I want to thank you for doing that.
Yeah. And it's not just Sunday, but it's just it's some holidays like Family Day, and Family Day, families should be getting together, and for example, transportation's not available for that. Even that holiday, it is an important one that people should be with families, and if there's no transportation for them to do that, then that's out the door for them, and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. And we are about inclusivity as a committee, and certainly have to look at these things and
Yeah,
try and come up with what we feel could be a resolution to it. So thank you again, Andrew.
you're welcome.
And Sarah, for the motion for this item.
Through you, Madam Chair, the motion in connection with this item is that the correspondence from Andrew Edgecombe regarding accessible transportation in Grey County be received for information.
Can I get a mover?
I can do it. It's Brooke.
Okay, thank you, Brooke. And a seconder? Thank you, Jacob. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Moved. Okay, and the next item is other business. I don't see other business on the agenda.
Through you, Madam Chair, I believe Kathy Nuno has something to share.
Okay, thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Chair Schultz. I have received a little bit of a sad email from Andy Underwood, who has regretfully submitted his resignation effective immediately, and this was yesterday. He has accepted a new project, and it's taking more of his time than he anticipated. He adds that the Grey County Accessibility Advisory Committee has been an interesting adventure, and the committee members are impressive with their combination of skills and personal experiences. He says, it has been a pleasure. So I just want to thank Andrew for his great knowledge and his very passionate way of sharing his thoughts and experiences. He was an invaluable member of the committee and will be truly missed.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Kathy. Yeah. I'm sad to see him have to resign, and but obviously whatever he's involved in, it's taking up a lot of his time. Yeah. And Sarah, so we have a motion then to...
Through you, Madam Chair, not in connection with this item.
Pardon me?
There was no motion on the agenda in connection with this item.
Okay, thank you.
But I do see an additional hand raised.
Yes, I see Pam. Yes.
Just a question. So you're short a committee member, and so I wonder if you would be doing advertising to fill that vacancy, or if you'll just leave it vacant.
It's a good question. Thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair, I do have to speak with the clerk, but I do anticipate that we will likely be filling that. I don't know if we actually, if that is the next step. I don't know if we need to do another campaign, because I did have more applications than I had spots on the committee. So I do still have those, and I received another unsolicited application recently. So I think a new member would be an expedient process.
That's great, Kathy. And it's great to hear that you've had a lot of applications. That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Does that answer your question, Pam? Thank you. All right. So the next item on the agenda is our next meeting, which is scheduled for May 16th at 2 p.m. And I guess if nobody has any other comments or questions for the committee, then we can call for an adjournment. Anyone else have anything that they would like to say? No. Sarah, I can't remember. Do we need a motion for adjournment?
For you, Madam Chair, yes, please.
That's what I thought. I feel a little rusty. Yes, Pam.
Oh, sorry, I'll make the motion.
Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you. And a seconder, please.
Yes.
I can do it. Oh,
Thank you,
Andrew's done.
Andrew. All right, it was great to see everybody, and thank you again for trusting me to be your chair. I look forward to continuing throughout this year and meeting and doing great work that we do. So enjoy your afternoon, and it was great to see everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Have a wonderful
Thank you.
afternoon.
Thanks, Sarah.